It's your guy, Kyle from the Bolt Bros, once again back at it. Sirs. Yes, so we are having a good time tonight because I am alive and I have came back from my trip, and I'm back to talk to you guys about the beloved Chargers. You know what I'm saying? I love on the show we love the Chargers. So I had a good time. I hope I see some people are trickling in here. I see Miguel up in the chat, of course, and Pablo. What's good? And Miguel's bolted and ready to go. So yeah, I'm using the main platform today because I'm actually going to have a special guest with us today. Potentially, he is running late. He's got to do some work stuff, and he's probably driving in LA traffic and stuff like that, So, he may be able to join us, and if he is, then he will be able to talk to us a little bit about what we're going to talk about today, which is going to be the draft. I'm kind of diverting a little bit from our normal like kind of Thursday night football with the Madden stuff to see if we can make my team go to the Super Bowl and stuff. And we're just gonna for this month, essentially, we're just going to focus on the draft. And I'm wanting to do is to give you a little bit of a hint at who might be coming in. I want to bring people from Thunder Alley that are having an event for the draft party, whatever, and I want them to talk about their events that they got coming up for the draft itself. So, and that's in 2 weeks. So not obviously not right now, not next week, but the week after, towards the end of the month, the draft is on. And so I realized it's like, hey man, we got this platform here. We got lots of fans here that show up and stuff. So let's talk a little bit and have a good time. So is it the Lights Out podcast, guys? Ooh, man, I would love that. Ooh, that would be amazing. But unfortunately, no. I don't have Sean Merriman coming on the show. But like I said, it's going to be people from Thunder Alley, and they're going to be joining us to talk about the upcoming event. So I've already got a couple people lined up that are able to jump on here and there. But yeah, man. So we good. We're going to have a good time. And but before we do all that stuff, I'm wanting to talk about what my top 5 draft picks are, like maybe a couple of my top picks for the first round, because really, realistically, I got a lot of top picks for the first round. And I think any one of these guys would be an absolute stud for us. So, but yeah, man, so I'm excited, and I'll be able to actually click on your guys' things a little bit here. And so that way you can actually chat with me a little bit more. But yeah, so like I said, Athir's back up in here. What's up, my man? How you doing? You have your official mock draft. Let's go. I hope you're ready. All right, sounds good. Maybe some of your guys to line up with, like, I'm not doing a full round mock draft right now. I'm just gonna talk about first round. Just because honestly, let's be honest, that's what most of us care about. I feel like in the draft, but I'm just gonna talk about a whole bunch of different people. And kill some time while what's his name, the guest tonight potentially might come in. Like I said, he is coming off from work. He might be stuck in traffic, all that stuff. So we are good to go with that. So yeah. Anyhow, so I appreciate you guys for joining me tonight. So, but before we dive in and do a little bit more, I want to hit that button and to get that intro started, and let's get this party rocking. Actually, wait, hang on a sec. I need to do a different one here. Shoot, I don't know which one is mine. Okay. I'm just gonna hit this button. It's gonna be a real quick one, and then we'll get right into it. So, Bolt Bros, let's go. Bolt Bros. Okay, I pressed James's. That's okay. So, but just so you guys know, the special guest is not going to be James for the video. So, anyways, but he might actually, because I told them that I'm using the actual normal platform that we have, so that way they can actually join me if they really wanted to. So, But yeah, yeah, they might want to. They may or may not. I don't really know necessarily. So, but anyways, I got a good show for you guys though myself. I got some thoughts, some things that have been kind of brewing in my brain bucket. So I am going to talk to you guys about that. In fact, I'm trying to set up a little something here. How I can make that work. I'm not 100% sure if that's going to work or not here. We'll see. We shall see for sure. But yeah, like I realized I need to set up a little couple more things here, but if it works, it works. If not, I'm sorry. Well, that might work. That might work. Okay, we'll see. We'll see how this thing turns out. So, anyhow, guys, we have the draft is among us. It is coming very, very soon. And so there's a lot of talks. We've talked a little bit about a whole bunch of stuff, So what are the top people that before I kind of talk to you a little bit about my thoughts about all this stuff, I want to know what your guys's number one draft pick would be. Like, I mean, maybe not one. You can throw out a couple names because that's the biggest thing right now. Because honestly, look, we've been doing this for a couple years now, and we'll be perfectly honest. We've realized that the more we do this, the more tunnel vision we get on, who we think the Chargers should draft, and like we kind of just forget everything else. We're like, nope, this is the guy. You got to get him. If he's on the board, you got to do it. And the fact is, we just realize is like, look, that is not how we should be approaching this draft at all. So that's kind of why we are not really focusing too much on like this player over this player like that, because obviously it does upset us if we focus in on some player and that's not who we pick. Hey, we got a little super chat here from Ather here. What's up, my man? Okay, this is his draft here, I think. So DK Kenneth Grant round 1, defensive tackle Kenneth Grant. Round 2, Bolts trade up for tight end Mason Tyler. Round 3, that's an interesting, nice trading up for a tight end. No, I'm not sure, but maybe that might be a really good thing, and I'll kind of explain why in a second here. And in round 3, we have running back Martinez out of Miami. Okay, there you go. I like that. That's a good 3-round. I like that a lot. I mean, that would be man. Actually, that's perfect, I think, to fill out our needs and stuff like that. Getting a defensive tackle right now would be great because we have a bit of a issue with that right now, I would say, right? Because we don't have many solid defensive tackles. Yeah, we have Tier Tart back, but he's just a short-term solution. We don't have that long-term solution for that, So I really like that in the first round. That'd be awesome. Kenneth Grant would be great. Mason Tyler would be awesome too in second round, especially, because I'll be perfectly honest, I don't like the idea necessarily. I'll give you guys a hint of my own thought process. Like, I don't like the idea of going tight end first round so much. I mean, look, Hunter Henry was great, but I don't think that he was, not the perfect answer, but tight end is very important for this draft. Let me be perfectly clear. I want a tight end for this draft. We have to get, I think we've gone like long enough without drafting a tight end. We need a tight end, period. So I like your second round pick too. Running back Martinez out of Mason Taylor. Yeah, Mason Taylor. No, that's it. Martinez Miami that's his name. Man, I haven't even done my research on him. But yeah, I mean, getting another running back would be perfect. I think that'd be awesome. I can tell you this much: the Chargers truther would not be happy with you about getting a running back so late in the draft. So I guarantee he's probably wanting to go first round or maybe second round for running back for sure. But you know what? No, look, I like it. I think that's a fantastic for sure, man. I like that. If Zable is there at 22, we'd be straight. That's 8, Alan. I like that too. I like that as well. I'm all right. That'd be pretty good. I like that one a lot. That's awesome. Let's see. Philip Hunter says we need to trade back for more second and third round picks. Hey, well, Philip, I mean, we got 10 picks this draft. I don't really know if that's very necessary for us to get more. I mean, we could use some of those draft picks to to trade up a little bit more or trade down or whatever like that. I do like your thought process though. I mean, I've thought about that for a while too. It's like, why are we even bothering with a 22nd draft pick when we can maybe get more in the second round, and be just as fine. That'd be awesome. I say the reason why you say trade, Daniel Jeremiah said he won't be there at 55. Not bad, not bad. Pablo says, "Oh, you think making your bets already? I think that Boltman is coming on the show. Ooh, I like that. That'd be pretty awesome. I wouldn't mind him being on the show too. I may actually plan on having him come on pretty soon, actually. So, but I will give you say, unfortunately, you are wrong on that tonight. So, but actually, on that note, if you guys can, please send some prayers up for Boltman because he did have a bit of a condition. He was hospitalized over the weekend and stuff. And so he needs all the prayers that he can get and a little bit of help and stuff like that as well. So if you can, go ahead and share some love with him and, do what you can and send him some positive vibes and stuff. So, yeah. So, anyways, maybe and he says also senior snappy. Well, that might happen sooner than you think. I don't know. I'm not gonna say deny or confirm or deny that might happen. So not for this show at least. Not for this show. So, anyways, well let me just kind of pull this up real quick here. So yeah. All right. So hey, that works out pretty well. Nice. Okay. Yeah. So let's talk about what Joe Ortiz has been doing this past couple weeks. So obviously, I think the biggest trade that we had gotten free agency this year so far to date has actually been Mike Williams. I know a lot of people don't like Mike Williams. Has not been the best, biggest home staple, biggest player that we would have for the Chargers for a long time, because he was always riddled with injuries and he does struggle. He does have some drops, some critical drops, and literally it rings in my head. I still remember it. I hope you guys don't, but he literally had the game-winning ball in his hand for that Raiders game the first year that Staley was our coach. Sorry, let me rephrase that. The first year that Booty Stank was our coach. If he caught that ball, it would have changed the dynamic of that game. I don't know what would have happened. Maybe the Raiders would have came back or whatever like that. It just didn't work. But either way, he could have caught that ball, and that would have been essentially we would have had the lead at that point. And it's unfortunate that didn't happen. So that is something glaring in my head and stuff like that, So I love that. But the biggest thing though, too, I love that Mike Williams is back because he is someone who's near and dear to all of our hearts as Chargers fans. And he already has baked in chemistry with Justin Herbert, which makes a huge difference because look, let's be honest. We all see it. We all know it, that Quentin Johnston was supposed to be the Keenan Allen / Mike Williams replacement, but that has not been the case, right? So Mike Williams coming in now has been a huge step up for us because we have somebody that Justin Herbert can throw confidently with, and so that will give us that upper edge, So straight up, because now we got Lad McConkey, we got Mike Williams. And heck, man, we still got Darius Davis. We got Jalen Reagor. And I think that's those. I mean, look, there's a couple players there that aren't seriously like a big name just yet, but I think that they can always be a bigger name at some point, So, and I think that this is they will end up using something, some way for Quentin Johnston to be better anyways. Like, they're not going to use him for those contended balls or those deep balls or anything like that. But that's why they're going to have Mike Williams now. So fingers crossed on that season for that kind of stuff, and I'm good. And look, let's be honest too. Like, and so they've already addressing a lot of this offensive stuff. Like Joe Ortiz he got Najee Harris, and who we know is going to be fantastic because look, let's be honest. For the last 4 years, or like every single year he's had been in the league, he's had over 1,000 yards rushing, and he's been very consistent, very healthy. That's going to be a huge, huge pickup. I am actually super stoked about that. I think he's going to be fan-freaking-tastic. But it really does kill me, though, that we're potentially not going to be having J.K. Dobbins. I really wish that we would keep him, and so that way we have that kind of stability, because he's so good. He's so good. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm seeing. Let's see. Alan says, I think, yeah, Kyle, but I think you'd agree that we need at least one, maybe two good wide receivers. Yeah, and that's just it. Yeah, I mean, like I said, we got one. That's Lad McConkey, and Mike Williams is solid, for sure. But and I do hear, and I would say, dare I say this though, Quentin Johnson is good, but not in the long game. He's good in like the short routes, maybe up in the middle or something like that. And yeah, that's kind of what I think is going on here. So I think we can still use Quentin Johnson. We still have some ability to keep him though. So I'm on board with Quentin Johnson. I think he actually can do what he does. He can cook, just not in those contended catches situation. I think he can be a solid wide receiver 3, but that's just kind of my thoughts on it right now. So yeah. And he's talking about Miguel's asking about ASJ. It's like, so well, I mean, look, nothing's happened with him. I mean, obviously, it's very clear to me that he really wants a lot of money because he's not been picked up by anyone else. And so maybe he's holding out hope that he's going to stick around. Look, let's be honest though, guys. I mean, he's been kind of hit and miss as well, and I just don't know if he really fits the model that Jim Harbaugh is actually going to be working with, So, anyways, so I'm not 100% sure. So yeah. Oh, but you're right here though, Darth Panic. Totally forgot about him. Brendan Rice. We still got Brendan Rice, and like that, obviously he's a huge name there. So maybe the option is that he's going to come in and he's going to start to make a much bigger role on this team. So fingers crossed on that, guys. Fingers crossed for sure. So, but like I said, though, I really feel like we actually addressed a lot of the issues that we had in the offseason already so far. Like, I mean, we got tight end with Conklin. That was a fantastic move. Najee Harris, Mike Williams, of course, as we just said, keep picking up Becton, keeping to your Tart. You name it, man. Hey, throw it out there too. It's like, I joked about this a little bit when we did this, but even re-signing J.K. Scott is actually a pretty big move, pretty big deal actually. And here's why: because we have had in a long time in the history of the Chargers some of the worst luck when it comes to the special teams. You know what I'm saying? And so by keeping that special teams units consistent with J.K. Scott and Lad McConkey and freaking Cameron Dicker, that actually is huge. Keeping that chemistry there is important because like that's he's the one that catches the ball most of the time for Cameron Dicker to kick that ball up. So I think it's awesome. It's Herbert's twin. It's just like Uber Goober said, and yeah, for sure. And it's good for social media as well. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So let's see. Philip, I don't 100% know if Zeke is still on the team at all. I really don't know. Like I think it may have just been a, we'll just kind of sign you for the playoffs kind of thing. So that could be up in the air. That'd be awesome if he is still on the team, because then he could be that that first the kind of bruiser back that just kind of gets those hard tough yards or something like that. Just let him just kind of punch a mofo in the face. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, but I do think Darth Panic is correct. But yeah, I don't think he's not on the team because LOD was right. He's not on the active roster or anything. So anyway, so bottom line is though too, Joe Ortiz is cooking in the draft in this offseason, and he really did fill up a lot of the holes and a lot of the gaps that we have on this team in this offseason. So that leads us into a you pick the best player scenario available scenario. You know what I'm saying? So now, like, really, the choices for the team are absolutely easy for the Chargers. Like, all we have to do is just pick the best player available. And now, granted, here's the thing too. Obviously, we all, us fans, we have our own draft boards. We have PFF, we have ESPN, we have the 33rd team. We have even what I like to use is the Draft Buzz website, as their draft boards. But that's not necessarily what the Chargers draft boards look like. So just because we all feel like this guy is the best player available doesn't mean that that's the best player available to the Chargers. Get it? And so that's what we all have to think about going into this thing. And I hope that all of you guys would help spread that kind of message to your friends and your family in the Chargers community, because let's be honest, is that we get a lot of people that get really pissed off about what the players the Chargers pick. And like it happens all the time. I get it, but I feel like we need to work on that, So yeah. Yeah, LOD, I've been good, man. I hope you've been good as well. I just got back from Mexico last week, so I've been having a good time, like but I'm starting a new job on Monday, so that's kind of why I needed to get a quick little vacation out while I could. So before like the real get into that nitty gritty and back to the grindstone, So that'll be awesome. Anyways, so. Hey, so it's good. But yeah, like I said, I have a great time. And Miguel, and you're right though. It's like mock drafts are kind of lame in my opinion. Nothing but wish list for fans. You're right though. You're absolutely right. I mean, I do like mock drafts because it kind of gives me an idea. Like, it was, oh, you know what? I should research this player, and it gives me something to kind of sink our teeth into. Anyways, so because it's fun to be able to do some research on some players and stuff. Because to be honest, like, I'm not really into college football that much, and when I do, I only really get into it because of the draft, So, I don't really know about any of these players by any means. So I'll look at highlight reels. I'll look at kind of the tape and stuff like that for what the players do, and I'll pay attention to listen to what people want me to watch and stuff like that, But that's about it. So, anyway, so let me move on to the next thing here. So, let's talk about Harbaugh. Like some of the things he's been talking about. He's got that little mischievous little gleam in his eye, though. If you see, you look at that, hey, oh, hang on a sec, guys. Oh, y'all didn't even know. Yo, bros, hang on. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize, but I can do that. I got the pen. I got control of the pen today, boys. Let's freaking go. Hang on a sec here. Let me set that up. Oh. Hang on a sec here. Oh. There you go. Yeah, you don't even know about this. I got control of the pen. Yeah. My bros don't even know. They don't even know what they're missing out on. I got something cooking up here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, Jim Harbaugh, he's a little crafty little guy. You look at that. Look at those eyes. Look at those eyes. Okay, this works. This works. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. No! Dang it. Somehow I need to fix this here. Shoot. Okay, hang on. No! Apparently, okay, so I have the I have the this thing on the other screen, and it won't let me get over to the other screen. Shoot. Okay, so I don't know how I'm gonna get this real quick. So let me work on that real quick. So let me figure this thing out here. Hang on a sec here. Hang on. Oh, actually, wait, I got an idea here. Ha ha. Ha ha. Okay, that'll work. All right, that works. Okay. Yes, yes. The dark side. Okay, so look at that. Look at this. He's got this little he's got a little halo going on here. You know, he's got this little he's got these things going on here. You know, he's got this glow about him right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But he's got this big old thinking bubble here. There you go. There you go. Yeah. He's got that thinking bubble. He's got that thinking cap going on right now, you know? The Pen King is here. That's what's up. Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's he's look at him. Just look at him. He's got this little if you can, maybe he's got this little I don't know. That doesn't really work right there, you know, but he's got this whole he's cooking with something right now. How do I get rid of it though? I don't know. There you go. There. That's how you get rid of it. Yeah. Hey, White Bull Deadpool, how you doing, man? You got to lick the tip and the. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Carlos, what's up, man? Yeah. So I'm saying, okay. All right. Focus. Got to focus now. So, sorry, I got a little excited that I can use my pen. I got the actual pen. Anyways, okay, so Jim Harbaugh's got something cooking up for him, and if we have any amount of any chance, because we had such a good first draft with him in 2024, I fully believe that we're going to have a pretty good draft with him this year as well. I think him and Joe have a really good synergy about themselves, and they work really well. Anyways, so let's talk about this for a second, though. You know, let's go back and just think a little bit about what Jim Harbaugh likes to do with the offensive priorities and stuff like that. You know, so him and not only that, but what does Jim Harbaugh like to do with Greg Roman? Like, what was a lot of the things that we did? And I think what we did a lot was we always have strong run game and a lot of pass or play action passing and stuff like that, you know? So that's actually something that we have actually always seen out of Greg Roman offenses, but also Jim Harbaugh offenses, you know, like when his time in the Niners, obviously he did have, you know, Colin Kaepernick, who had some legs about him, and Alex Smith for a little bit of time too. But play action was their bread and butter. And whatever because that makes a team guess if they're going to be running or if they're going to be passing. So, and obviously we know that Greg Roman likes to run. He likes to pound the ground, you know? So, I think when it comes to this draft, obviously, like people are saying, it's yeah, we do need to find some more wide receivers out there, you know? So what are we thinking about, huh? So obviously we have Lad McConkey, we got Mike Williams now, and that's fantastic. But the biggest thing too, this is the thing that people forget about, is that in 2020, I think it was 21 and 2022, Greg Roman was in the top 5 of tight end targets in the entire league. So they need to find a tight end that they can pass to. And that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing that I think that, you know, we can actually think about right now for sure. And LOD, no, who said that? Who said that? I just saw it here. Darth Panic, 100%. That's actually not a really bad deal at all. Not a bad idea at all. We have play actions with Trey Lance. Think about whatever kind of plays that we can concoct with that idea, you know? That's fan-freaking-tastic, you know? So, and that could actually be a huge opportunity right there for Trey Lance to actually show his thing. However, we did play against Trey Lance, was it a few years back, and we had 6 interceptions against him? I don't know, man. Yeah. So We could put him in as a running back position, do a play action, whatever. Maybe he can kind of do a little something, and then boom, big old 20-yard pass. Let's go, baby. Philip. So, well, look, I like Tyler Conklin a lot, but he's not necessarily a catching tight end. He could be, obviously, but his stats don't show that he's a catching tight end. But that's also because he was with the Jets for so many years, and they've had like such a turmoil as far as tight end or quarterbacks go. So you never know. You never really know. So, and Pablo says tight end is a safety valve, similar to what Eckler did for us too. 100%. So that's kind of, and that's exactly what it is for Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. Like they are like in a perfect synergy that they just kind of work towards all that. So exactly. We need to have a tight end that can block a little bit, but that can also catch and actually be in sync with Justin Herbert, and knowing that if he's in trouble, to be able to say, hey, throw me the ball, I'll catch it and just get rid of it. That's all you need to do. Miguel says if we fix the tight end, is right away. I believe we can be the best in the West. 100%. That's it. That is totally it. So, but let's just say this though too. So last year, when it comes to tight ends as well, Will Dissly was the 11th most targeted tight end in the entire league too, and that's actually stepping up a lot for what he's used to. So that's a huge deal. So, like I said, tight end is a critical position for the Chargers this year. Will it happen in the first round? That I'm not 100% sure. But the bottom line is though too is that we need a dynamic pass catcher. We have somebody like a bunch of different pieces, but we need someone to step up and to actually fill that gap role right there. Fill that gap and to make it there. So aside from that, on the offensive line, yes, we did pick up Mekhi Becton. But we could use someone long term, in that position as well. Because look, Zion Johnson might be shifting over to the center, and that kind of concerns me a little bit too, because the center is the biggest concern that I have right now. I mean, obviously, we still got Bozeman, and we have Zion Johnson. We did get another center too, so that actually kind of secured us a little bit more. But I really feel like would really be good for us to actually find somebody that's actually be like, okay, this guy is going to be the future of our team for sure. So that's kind of what I'm thinking for the offense, things like that. So let's kind of move on to the next. Hang on a second. Turn off. Here you go. The next slide here. So, but let's talk about defensive now. So we don't really have to talk about it too much. Because let's be honest, I think we did really good. What's up, Jorge? How you doing? Hey, fill the gap. That's right. Yeah, that's a good quote there, right? LOD. Hey, that's what's up. But yes, yeah. I am back, Jorge. Welcome to the show. Yeah, I was out for a little bit. The beard, man themselves, sir, the bro of all bros. I really appreciate your confidence boosts on that, man. It's awesome. But you're right. Minter is coming. Darth Panic. And let's be honest, like guys, our defense was solid last year, but I do admit, I feel like losing Joey Bosa was a big, that could be a bit of a problem for us, yes, Bosa didn't have a absolutely stellar year. But he was one of the best, but Minter he made it happen, man. So let's see, so he's just, I'm just gonna put this out here for him too, man. We have, we have an angel in the. That's not really okay. This is like Archangel wings, from the X-Men. You guys know that one. It's like Archangel wings here. So yeah, I'll call him the Archangel. Minter is the Archangel. Because he's a freaking bad A, and he's got adamantium for wings, and he'll cut you up, man. Because that defense is freaking stellar, man. Hey, I don't know if you guys know about that guy, but Archangel is a fan freaking tastic hero. I mean, he's like one of the craziest He's actually one of the most powerful like mutants out there. Came from just being an angel himself. Like those little dart things shoot out, man. They freaking cut up anything. And like I said, it's adamantium, just like Wolverine's claws and stuff like that. So, anyways, but like I digress. Anyways, what I'm saying is that losing Joey Bosa could be a bit of a problem because, he even though he did not like get like a ton of sacks and a bunch of tackles for a loss, he actually he put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and he got behind the line, and he was able to make teams scramble, and they respected him enough that they wanted to protect against him, and they double teamed him a lot of times too. So I don't know. So we'll see. But I do think though, I mean, the biggest thing was retaining Khalil Mack. That was a huge thing because Khalil Mack has been solid for us ever since we got him. He's been absolute godsend, and I'm so happy that we have him, and I'm so happy that we're keeping him on the team. But so at the same side, like we all know, Tuli Pelotu is actually going to be a fan-freaking-tastic player as well. His upside is super huge, and I do believe that we actually but all we do really need though at this point is depth, because let's be honest, Chris Rumpf, the Rumpf Shaker, is probably gone. I mean, he really has not amounted up to be anything. I mean, he was a 4th round draft pick, or I think a 4th round draft pick. Yeah, sure, we always expect a lot out of our players and stuff like that, but I mean, it just didn't really end up didn't actually end up being the best part, so best pickup for us, so, and that just happens, and like I said, guys, I am working on a video that I do want to share. I'm trying to edit it and stuff like that, and try and make it work, but because I've been kind of really thinking about draft picks and stuff like that, and why, honestly, why the 1st round draft pick is the biggest one, because I give you guys a hint, like what kind of statistics that I've been looking up at is that the 1st round draft pick has about a 50% chance of drafting a Pro Bowl level player, and up to a 5% chance of a Hall of Fame player. But that's not very high for a Hall of Fame player. But when you consider going all the way down to the 7th round draft or even undrafted players, it drops down significantly to like 5% for a Pro Bowl player, to a 0.01% to a 0.05% chance of getting a Hall of Fame player. Obviously, it happens because we look at Antonio Gates, but the odds are very much stacked against a player if they are drafted later in the rounds. I don't know exactly why, because the truth is, if a player just has a shot in the NFL, they should take that shot and they should run with it so far that their freaking feet hurt, their legs hurt, their knees hurt, their freaking eyeballs hurt. How much they should do, because if they get that shot like that, it doesn't matter where you came from or or what position you play at. You have a chance to be a amazing player because you have such an incredible opportunity to play for the NFL. And that's just kind of what I'm saying. So it doesn't matter what position you get drafted in. Anyways, I digress a lot, as you guys all know. So, actually, hang on a second. I had another thought here. No, I want to go back the other way here. Yeah. Okay. So now going back though, so Harbaugh's history would now suggest that he prefers versatile, obviously physical players, especially from players from Michigan, from his own team itself, because he knows the familiarity and stuff like that, So now, but then again, you add to Joe Ortiz's situation. He favors the best player available within the needed areas and stuff like that. So avoiding reaches at any cost. So they're not going to go pick up any gambles or anything like that. Hey, what's up? Hey, we got someone from Twitter here. So what's up? We need a DB. Yeah, actually, you're right though, because truth is we don't really have. If we lose ASJ, which I believe we are, we will need to pick up somebody. And like, yeah, we have some defensive backs in there as well, but we just don't know exactly how long that they're going to last. Like, we have a couple of like kind of stop gaps or whatever, some kind of plugs for the moment, but we need to figure it out, I like that. Hey, that's a good one. We need wiggle and yak type of players. Yeah, for sure, Miguel. That's for sure. Jorge says I need to give more speeches. All right. Hey, that's all right. Hey, that's what's up. Hey, I bet if I was a betting man, which I'm not, if we don't go O-line at 22, then we trade back for more picks. Ooh, that's an interesting bet there, White Bull Deadpool. I might be open to take a bet with somebody if they want to take that bet. I'll put 20 on it because I think that we might actually also go. Well, I wouldn't say offensive line. I just think line period. Maybe that's kind of my thought, So yeah. We need YouTube shorts of your motivation with the national anthem, Joey Diaz style. Hey, you know what? I might do that. I might, see, I've been threatening to do this for a while, where I just go on little morning walks and just kind of do some little like something motivational speeches or whatever like that. Loser has a stay at the night at Andrews. $20 on the line. Yeah. I would say that. So I would bet. Okay, yeah, I'll bet with any one of y'all right now. Just everyone can be a witness. I bet $20 that we will draft a line player. Could be defensive line, could be offensive line. That might be a little bit of a broad one. So I guess you guys would be able to get a broad one too. So maybe you could say you think an offensive weapon. So that could be a tight end, wide receiver, or running back, essentially, Of course, they all think that $20 is brought to you by Aether. Yeah, that's for sure. Actually, okay, Jorge, it wouldn't be a morning walk. It would actually be a morning train ride, because that's how I'm going to get to my job. So yeah, so that'll be it. So yeah, yeah. Miguel says, I will bet you $20 gazillion that we'll pick somebody. Well, obviously. All right, there you go. LOD's taking me up on that bet. Okay, so what is your counter bet there, sir? Good sir. Go ahead and say, what do you think? Obviously, I'm betting that you're going to say you think we're going to get a quarterback first, right? Hell no, we ain't getting no quarterback. Anyways, let me just say, I'm gonna go back to this here real quick. Morning train ride sounds so much gayer. Hey, it's a gang train, gangbang train. What do you mean, man? It's a gangbang train. Morning gangbang train. I'm probably gonna get canceled on freaking YouTube for saying that one. There we go. Okay, LOD says tight end or running back. Okay, first round. All right, sounds good. Hey, we can have some cross bets here a little bit, if you want. Choo choo, chugga choo choo. That's right. Sorry, I'll go crazy. Anyways, okay. So, I mean, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. I think that there's a very high chance that we're gonna get a tight end in the first round. It's very possible. Yeah. It's not a train. It's not a train. It's not a plane. It's Superman. Yeah. Morning gang. Hey, see, there you go, Jorge. Hey, boat gang, right? Boat gang, you don't bang. That's it. Sorry. I digress. I digress. Say shirtless Kyle. There you go. All right. Morning bang boat gang. Yeah, train. Morning boat gang train. Morning boat gang train. Yeah. Yeah, maybe something like that. I don't know. That'd be funny. Anyways, so let's talk about first round draft picks. I do have on my own list some of the top players that I think would be the best pickups for the Chargers. So first and foremost, one player that I have in mind is, of course, tight end. So just like LOD was saying, thank you, Uber. Say, I digress a lot. Don't get me wrong. I like to have fun with you guys and like to just kind of just talk about, So yeah. So honestly, I do believe that Colston Loveland is a very has a very high chance of being our first round draft pick. And obviously, it's something that the Chargers have not done for several years. I think it was like 2016. I want to say was the first time that we like in a long time. The last time that we drafted a tight end in the first. So if we do it again, that would be about 9 years that has been. But a lot of teams don't do tight ends in the first round. It's just not a very common thing, and so that's kind of why I'm like, could it happen? Yes. Will it happen? I don't know. I mean, I say the odds are lower. Who digresses more, Kyle or Andrew? Obviously me on my own show. That's for sure. Are there tacos on the gangbang train? Mr. Kyle. Yeah, there is. Breakfast tacos. We've got eggs, sausage, bacon. I love me some breakfast tacos. Damn right. Dante Adams wasn't first round pick Cup either. Look at their careers. Exactly. That's 100% true though, Philip. And so it's not necessarily that a team needs to, or a player needs to be in the first round in order to have a fantastic career. I mean, hell, Tom Brady was like a 7th round draft pick too. So yeah. Anyway, but here's my thoughts about Colston Loveland. Hang on a sec. Where is that window? I needed to kind of scroll around on it here. I got too many windows up here. Okay, there you go. But look, fact is, Colston Loveland is a 6'6", 248 pounds, and that's just in college weight, So when he gets into the pros, he's going to get a lot more nutrition. And get told how to do it. And he's only a junior too, so he's got room to grow. So easily he can get up to 260, maybe 270, I would say, potentially, to get up there in weight and to be a fan-freaking-tastic blocking tight end. Plus, he's a great catching tight end. He's pretty average on all that stuff. Sure, last year wasn't super hot, but the years before that were great. He's got some incredible measurables. But the biggest thing, though, too, is I want to say is that, he's just reality is he's just a matchup nightmare to any team that wants to go up against him. He actually can at 6'6". I mean, what kind of who's going to be able to get those jump balls with him? Look, was it Donald Parham was 6'8", right? And just those jump balls, he had it every single time. Look at his vertical right there. Dang it, they didn't put his. I wanted to see his vertical. His arms. So he's 6'8". He puts his hands up. That's another at least 16 inches higher. So that's right there alone. Just his hands. Now that puts him up to 7-8 feet high on the ball. And then if he jumps, at least another 6 more inches, or probably more. So 8 feet and I would say 10 inches. 8 feet 10. So. Dude, who's going to be able to especially get someone like Asante Samuel to try to cover him? You can't. He's way too. You can't do it. That's freaking nuts. So he is a matchup nightmare for any defender. So that's why I think he would be a fantastic freaking pickup at 1 if we did that. If we did pick him up at in the first round, that'd be awesome. So, truth is though too, a lot of people are actually saying that he's one of the top people that we should actually pick up. I'm not obviously alone on this one. There's a lot of people that will love it, and obviously, he's very, close to Harbaugh. Obviously, there's a whole, he played with him for a couple of years. Harbaugh knows him very well, and so it's kind of like a shoo-in, kind of a done deal at this point. You can almost kind of say that, But I would say this though too. One thing that we need to consider about him, is, according to some of the tape that I've seen, is that his run blocking does need work, and that's something that's going to be very important to this offense. But that's not going to be too bad of a thing for him to catch up on, So. That's just kind of the thought process, so because obviously we have such a big need for a receiver type person. If we have him to show up then he could be the guy that we actually do. So that's kind of why I think that Colston Loveland could be a absolutely brilliant pickup for us for that one. So let me do a quick little search here while we're talking about that. So what do you guys think about that? I'm gonna kind of look at some of your guys' comments here while I kind of pick up and kind of ready my next player that I have in my head on my list here. So Jorge says, "Go defensive tackle. I'd rather watch Mahomes get wrecked by 300-pound plus black guys." Hey, well, you know what? Why not, dude? That'd be freaking fantastic. I would love that. That'd be awesome. Pablo says, "No, Parham is not out there still. I think he did. I think he got picked up by the Raiders, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. He has been picked up, So yeah. We got a motivational people of all around the world. Join hands and get on one love. Let's get on the love. Yeah, you know what? One love, baby. Honestly, like that's the truth is too. Is like, yeah, we all need to actually find ways to love one another a little bit better. The world would be a much better place if we actually did have more love, And so, I 100% agree with that. But then I do admit that there's just some people that just take advantage of other people, and those guys are just a-holes. And so that's I don't want to share any love with them. But anyways, I digress again. So Tupapa says the most probable scenario is that Grant and Loveland are both gone at 22. That leaves cornerback, running back, offensive line, or defensive end. Yeah. It's very possible. Yeah. I've seen that a lot too. And picking a corner, like a defensive back, would be a bit of a shocker for me personally, but I would be all board. I'd be on board with it no matter what. So that's just how it is with me. I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds cool. I like it. But for my second guy on the list, I would say would be actually, drum roll please, Tyler Booker at 22. So it's possible. See, it's an offensive lineman. We need another guard because look, let's be honest. Like our offensive line was kind of dog crap, this past year. So I don't really think that. I don't think that our offensive interior line was making the cut. It was just not doing well. But we get a guy like Tyler Booker. Maybe that can help us out. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Zion Johnson was a fan-freaking-tastic pickup on his first year, but then he shifted around a lot, I really want him to stick to whatever natural position he likes and the ones that he was best at and just stick with it, But Tyler Booker would be amazing for me if we picked him up at 22. Would he be available at 22? I have no idea. Probably not, but we'll see. But I do like offensive guards, for this guy. And I'm honestly leaning in. Tupapa's leaning Booker or more towards Jackson on this. That's all good. But yeah, I'm leaning more towards Booker because, to be honest, being the bros, we love our SEC guys. Like we're huge fans of any team, a player out of SEC. Because let's be honest, like that's one of the toughest, most competitive, I guess more of a tier one, in the Division I league, out there, for college ball. So that much I do know about college football, is that the SEC is a powerful place, and so. But look at it, some of his stuff is just freaking fantastic, but his 10 yard is actually pretty slow. And I do admit that that's not a great that's not a great stat right here. He's got a 196 on his 10-yard split, and that's not fantastic. His broad jump is a little slow, but who cares about that? It's not the Olympics. We don't jump in that in there. It doesn't really. What the heck is that? What does that matter? So obviously he's a little bit slower, but you don't have to be super fast to be a blocker. But you got to have good weight, 321 pounds, 6'5", he's got big hands, he's good vertical, it's just, he's got some pretty decent pass blocking, decent run blocking. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. I like him a lot. So let me kind of give you some thoughts about him, So, but he's basically, I mean, obviously, what you saw from that though, from the draft buzz though, is that he's actually really good, much better at the run game than what those stats say. You probably have to look at his 2023 stats in order to really see that, but he's actually really good. He would actually be able to open up those holes for Najee Harris a lot better, So, and let's be honest with too, but here's the bigger thing too. In 2024, he only allowed 1 sack. And so that's freaking amazing, So, and as you can, go ahead and comment about these players as I'm talking about them, because, and then I'll kind of go back and kind of click on a couple of them, So yeah. But I'm still waiting on, I'm still waiting on a guest to potentially show up. If he does, it'd be awesome. But if not, that's okay too. I'm just trying to get more involvement from the Thunder Alley and all the people local and stuff like that, So, but with the biggest thing though too is, like I said, the reason why I like Tyler Booker or even any guard at that for that matter, I think Zion, because we just don't know about if Zion Johnson is going to be a center or if he's going to stay as a guard. Because obviously Bradley Bozeman, I would be terrified about Justin Herbert's health if Bradley Bozeman ends up being a guard, in replacement of a center and stuff like that, So, I mean, sure, Bozeman can be a guard as well, but he didn't do the best job as a center, I felt like, So he could have done better. Yeah, but maybe we're also just kind of biased because we just came from a Pro Bowl center, and we went to him, So it's kind of tough, big shoes to fill, So, but biggest thing is he would be able to start right away. So, but he's definitely a top 20 talent, and that's a big thing for me, why he would be a draft pick for us, So, he could fall to us though because of some trade down scenarios as well. So that could be it, So, but the biggest thing though too is I just don't know if the team might go for a skill player or if they would go for another offensive lineman. It would probably not be this would not be a sexy pick at all. But in the back of my head, I think a lot of times that we might actually want Harbaugh he likes those big boys, and he likes to play what they call power football, it's just overpower, just have it a lot of big boys up front and just get that tush push. Hey, that's all we think. So let's see. So let me see if what are you guys saying about that? So Pablo's saying, you're saying that, Alan says Zable would be a much better pick. Well, you might be onto something there. You might be onto something there, Alan. So we'll talk a little bit about that one here. Let me click on that one. So yeah, you might be onto something. You might be onto something. So I'll talk to you about that one in a second. So yeah. Tupapa says yes. SEC is a minor league in the NFL for sure. Yeah, that's a fast 40. No, it's a 10-yard play. So we need a Ohio effing tight end. White Bolt Deadpool says, hey, maybe, you never know. That'd be good. Miguel asks, should you go for players that played in big college names, or does that even matter? Well, fact is, actually, so I do admit I'm personally biased towards, me and Andrew are personally biased towards the SEC. But after talking to Anthony Miller, and on one of our shows, and he actually just said it straight up. He's like, look, it doesn't matter what college you go to. If you can ball, then you can ball. It doesn't matter. So that's kind of why it's kind of, it's not a big deal if they do come from a big college town or team or a small one, because if they can, ball out, look at Shannon Sharp. He came from a small college. I mean, hell, Antonio Gates, he came from basketball for freaking, and the thing about Deion Henley, he came from Washington State or whatever like that. It's that's not a huge big name for football. I'm thinking of some other players out there. Sure, came. I would say Tom Brady came from Michigan. That's a big one. Joey Bosa came from Ohio. That's a big one. But there's been plenty of players that don't come from huge teams, huge college teams or whatever, but they ball out. I mean, I think it does help a player get drafted higher because they have better press, the better facilities and all that stuff, But it doesn't mean if a player can actually be good or not. That's not the end all be all, I would say. So yeah. Yes, and I will be taking a look at Zable types for sure. You're getting a little ahead of me. You're getting a little ahead of me. I guess got 2 minutes or else I'm gonna wait. We have to wait more. Miguel, that's for sure. Yeah. Can you book Booker? Maybe. And then White Bull Temple saying Mason Taylor, baby. Yeah. So. Okay. Kyle says for a bet you are picking defensive line or offensive line, and I get the rest. Well, you said running back, wide receiver, or tight end, right? So, that's what you're going. So, I think off defensive line or offensive line. So, I guess yeah. I mean, you can pick I would say you can pick one category. So for me, I guess my category is trenches. If you want to pick something like defensive backs or something like that, that would be essentially anything. So I guess here's the question though too. So yeah, LOD, you should get wide receiver, tight end, running back. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, like skill players, skill positions. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's totally fine by me. By the way, I don't think the tush push is banned. It probably won't be. Probably not. Okay, Bendu says Booker is more of an inside gap blocker. Zable is more of an outside zone type blocker. Teams run both. Yeah, 100%. But they can both be trained in both. So yeah. Yeah. Oh, everybody. Yeah. See. Okay, so let me move on to my next guy that I was thinking of. Okay, so this one I've talked about this a lot. Talk about this one here. This position I talk about a lot. So you might know. Is he? I can't even. I'm not even gonna be. By the way, I'm not gonna be able to say his name. I'm not gonna be able to, but I like what I've seen from him because this guy is just a sacks machine. Yeah, he says, yeah, you're right, Alan. Build from the inside out, 100%. It all starts from the trenches. That's what I'm thinking. So yeah, I think Kyle gets O-line or D-line or trade back and he wins. Any other player and LAD wins. That's what you're thinking? Okay. Well, I'm not 100% sure. What the heck did I just do? I pressed a button and I have no idea what I just did. Yeah. Oh, that's what I did. Hang on a sec here. Somehow I screwed the pooch here. I don't know. Okay, whatever. I can still see you guys. Whatever. So yeah. I don't think it gets. I don't think it's gonna get banned. Not at all. So it's too much of an asset. Oh shoot! You know what? I just realized I need to keep this up. How do I do this here? What? How the heck did I pressed some button, and it full screened my thing over here. I don't know. Whatever. So, okay. But anyways, okay. So the other position that I really think will go well for us in the first round would be the edge position. And I've talked about this a couple times. I don't know if you probably guys don't quite remember it, but maybe I was. I pounded the fist about Jack Sawyer. I don't think we're going to go for Jack Sawyer in the first round, but I do think we do have a chance of getting a player in the first round, and that would be Donovan. Like I said, Ezeiruaku. I'm horrible at names. I'm sorry, guys. So the question is though, too, does this count as a trench player, or does he count, or not? So he's an edge rusher, defensive end, but he's also considered outside linebacker, So I guess so. LOD. So that's just kind of my thoughts. Is so this. I think he could be potentially trenches. I wouldn't say middle linebacker is trenches, like a linebacker position. That is definitely not trenches for sure. But I would say an outside line. Is there two papas helping me out here? Ezeiruaku. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'll go with that. So yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking there. A edge rusher could be a huge pickup for us in a lot of ways. I mean, because just look at his physicals here, because yeah, we are not good at Alan. Like that's what I'm saying. Uh, we don't have the depth at the edge anymore, because we lost Bosa, and of course Khalil Mack is actually he's not he's a perfect for right now, but he's not going to be perfect forever. So, yeah. You're right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, LOD. He'll be that for defensive line, but he won't be the first pick. He probably won't. He probably won't. But I'm just a man can dream, right? So, this guy I like though. I mean, 6'2". That's a little short, I suppose, for the edge rusher, but he's 248, which might be a little bit small because I mean, you think we're going from Joey Bosa, who's 280 or something like that, But this is college weight, so he can gain a couple 20 pounds easily, and he'll be good. He'll be able to get it. But the biggest thing is right there, guys. If I can highlight that, right there, sacks, 16 and a half sacks for the year, 3 fumbles, and 80 tackles, and 37 solo. Dude, this guy's a freaking monster out there. He will be a force to be reckoned with, and so I think that's actually good. Yes, he's not super fast, but you don't. It's not super big about that. He's maybe got some good swim move or something like that, to kind of get through it, So yeah, yeah, but he's pretty good though. I would like him a lot. And so just kind of here's some notes that I had about him, So, I think he's pretty polished though, as is. He had apparently he actually really had 16 and a half is more career sacks. I think he had 11 sacks last year, which is basically almost like 1 sack a game, when you really think about it in college. So, but like I said, we need some long-term complement to Tui Pelotu when it comes to sacks or the edge rushing and stuff like that, So, because we know that Mac's not going to be around forever. So we need to find someone that's going to be that other stable piece for us, So, but I think he's explosive, and he's good against the run. He's good against the pass. I think he could be a good person for us to to be the guy, So, but one other person on NFL.com, Chad Reuter, does believe that he would be a value pick at 22. So, and I do think the biggest thing is though too is like I feel like that first round draft picks do tend to go towards edge rushers. But will he be available at that time at 22? I have no idea. Probably not. Like you said, like White Bull Deadpool saying, it's probably not going to happen. But hey, a man can dream, can't he? He can dream. I can dream. I do have dreams. Yeah. But I will admit this. I do think that our offensive needs are bigger, or shine a bigger hole or a bigger black hole, whatever, for us, because the fact is that our offense is what killed us last year. So I feel like if we address that more, we probably will address that more in this draft than we will address anything else in this draft. But I do admit, if we have a chance to get him, I think it would be good, because let's be perfectly honest, like, it's the best player available. If he's there, yes, big holes are bad for sure. Bigger hole or a black hole? I don't know, man. You tell me, guys. Wait, Johnny, Edge, Savion Jones, 4th round. You're saying, Tupapa saying Donovan over Pierce Jr. How about Swinson versus Birch? That's a good question. I'm not 100% sure, man. Yeah, that is a good question. I haven't done too much research on Swinson or Birch though, so I wouldn't be able to answer that question though. So, but maybe I'll maybe my next show on Sunday I might be able to actually answer that one for you. So, yeah. So that's just kind of my thoughts there. So, but what are you guys saying about this? Let's see. Some of his physicals aren't absolutely like the best, but he did have the best 40. So he was really fast, and his 3-cone is really fast too. His wingspan is big, so he can, do all that stuff. So I don't know, man. But like I said, he is very undersized as far as weight goes and height. So that could be the killer when it comes to the the deal with him in Harbaugh's system, So I mean, like I said, I'm just throwing his name out there as a possible edge rusher that we could get. I mean, hell, I would love Abdul Carter, of course, but he's not gonna. No way he's available. James Pierce, even Shamir Stewart. Yeah, there's a lot of players that I would love to pick up, but I'm just thinking like the odds are of what's gonna drop at 22, and it's probably gonna be him. Truth is, I'm still very biased about Jack Sawyer. I would absolutely love Jack Sawyer. And if we got him, all three of us brothers have to get his jersey no matter what. And we would all get different, versions of the jersey. And so that would just, oh my gosh, that would just make me happy as a clam to have Jack Sawyer, man. That'd be awesome. And because to be honest, I don't think there's ever been a Sawyer that has actually, been playing football. Like they've played, I'll watch it on the Oculus. Heck yeah, I am. I think we've had some soccer players with this last name Sawyer, but not football. So that's kind of been my old deal. But yeah, so Donovan Ezeiruaku. Yeah, I probably messed it up still. That's all right. It'll take a minute, guys. It'll take a minute. Y'all just relax. So yeah. As long as it's not Mike Green. Okay, hey, I can understand. I can understand that. Yeah. Pip Def starting left guard. We didn't keep him and on his $9 million contract to sit on the bench. That's for sure, though. Yeah, and that's a trip to me, man. It's like we keeping him around. We're still gonna pay him $9 million. That's crazy. Kyle Goodwin, what? Sawyer's your mom's maiden name? That's what's up, man. Hey. That's awesome, man. So you and I are probably related in some way, So like us bros, probably way down the line, of course, So, but not super close, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's awesome, man. Hey, that's cool. Stoked to hear that, man. Found another Sawyer in the chat. That's what's up. Maybe we can have you join the show. You can be another honorary Bolt Bro or like a distant cousin, a Charger cousin. I don't know. Anyways, okay, so let me go into the another person that I want to get. I'll pull this thing up. So, but what do you guys think so far? So are these good pickups? These are players that like I think would be freaking-tastic, and I know like a lot of people, are giving me suggestions here, and you guys are getting a little bit ahead of me because the fact is, you guys are. Also, you're onto something here. You're like you guys, we're on the same wavelength here, So yeah, bros from different. Not gonna call. Yeah, don't be calling our moms a hose. Shoot. Yeah. Johnny, but Herbert. Wait, what? What are you talking about? You get attacked there, Johnny boy. Hey man, this is safe. You want to? Oh, okay, I see. You want a new? Okay, gotcha. Hey, look, man. You're not wrong to criticize Justin Herbert. Like, let me just go into say you're not wrong. He has a my warning lights are on for him. I love Justin Herbert. Don't get me wrong, but I do have concerns. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he should be better than what he is. He's been and stuff. He hasn't won a single playoff game. It's very frustrating, but at the end of the day, I'll say this is that it took Peyton Manning 9 years to get it right. Who else? It took like Aaron Rodgers a while. It took it's taken a lot of players to get it right. A lot of years and stuff like that. So. I hate saying this because us Chargers fans have been like this for so many years, but we just have to be patient. I hate saying it. It makes me feel sick to my stomach because I want to win now. I don't want to wait for another couple years for us to kind of figure things out. I want us to win now. gosh damn it, like, I mean, I want to get there, I want to see that we have what it takes to beat this division, to take it away, steal it from the Chiefs for good, and to be able to get all the way to like the top. We've been waiting for so long. It's got to happen. It's got to happen. And honestly, and if Herbert can't do it, then you're right. Then you're right. Stafford took a while. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, Antoine saying it's. I mean, it's. I don't really know. Like I still have like I'm starting to kind of dust up some feelings from the playoff game because like I was really pissed at Herbert after that game, but I've calmed down quite a bit, and I do realize it's like, okay, look, let's give him. We have to give him some time. Obviously, the fact was too is like last year we were on a rebuild year, so like say if it my brother thinks otherwise. Andrew says it was not a rebuild year, but I think it was because the fact is that we had like hardly any weapons for Herbert and stuff like that. So like we weren't super really established. So yeah, Mark Stan Humphries. So but bottom line is too is like so I'm being patient with Justin Herbert yet still. I'm gonna be very mad. I'm gonna be very pissed. I don't know. I'll probably go silent for a whole month. If this doesn't if we don't see something this year, I would say, personally. But I'm not 100% sure. So yeah. Anyways, I digress. You kind of sparked a little thought in my head, and I just wanted to kind of get up on that. Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, but yeah. So let's see. Everybody can make so many excuses for Herbert because there are a lot of justifications for his first 5 seasons. This is 6, bro. He needs to be clutch. It's true though. It's true. Yeah. Like I think we all need to say what we need to say right now about Herbert and stuff like that. So yeah. But we are. But you're also right though as well, Philip. We Herbert is a top 5 quarterback. Don't get me wrong. Maybe I would say that for sure. And he has all the potential on it, but if he can't be clutch in certain situations, then that lowers him down. I would say the top 10 at least. That's it. But Herbert is solid. Herbert is solid. He's not necessarily the problem. I agree though as well, too, Papa. But what other options do we have out there to replace him? There's not. There's not something else out there that we can do. I 100% support Herbert. He's a baller. He's gonna do everything he can to win. I 100% believe that. But I do want to see it. Like it's like I have faith in him, but I want to see it. In order for me to have a testimony of him, I need to see it at that point. So yeah. Hey, what's up, Grandizer? How you doing, man? Yeah. How you doing? It's yes, I was gone, but no, I'm back. I'm back, baby. So yeah. Can you say the freaking jam and head coach were obstacles? Yeah, they were. Brandon Staley, his first couple years, with Anthony Lynn, and Brandon Staley, like those are freaking terrible years, So yeah. Yeah. So that's all I'll say. That's all I gotta say. It's like, yeah, but I digress enough. I want to talk about the draft a little bit more. I don't want to talk forever on this stuff, but I have basically hang on a sec. How many more do I have? I have 2 more. This one and 1 more. So that I wanted to talk about. But if it seems like my guest might not be able to come on, so we will probably have to hang. I'll probably have to try to get him on Sunday or something like that too, which would be pretty cool. Anyways, okay, so let's move on. So you guys, like I said, I gotta get those thoughts out of my my head there, So, okay. So you guys were ahead of me. You guys were talking a lot about this guy, and he is on my list. But I'll be perfectly honest about him. I am a little maybe about it, because I'll be perfectly honest. I don't think that this group is the best that we've had for a while. And so I would kind of be, for a first round draft pick, I wouldn't be super excited about it, but I'm going to be excited about it because it's the Chargers anyway. So, and I want to see him play any of these players that we get on the team. I'm going to be stoked for, and I'm going to be, happy to look into them and all that stuff. And so, but you guys are right. Gray Zable would be a fan-freaking-tastic pick for the Chargers because, look, we need a center. We need someone who actually has a lot of experience in all those different positions there. So he's played all the way up and down the line. He's He's basically like a Swiss Army knife of the offensive line, and he would be fan-freaking-tastic because, we never know. He could actually be out there to have a battle for the center position or potentially, different, as a guard or even as, who knows? Maybe he could take over a tackle position. I don't even know. But he has the ability to play any position on that line. At 6'6", 312 pounds, that's potentially a little bit undersized for a center that I would like to see. But he's, and he's from a smaller school. Look at that, North Dakota State. Who the heck has ever heard of North Dakota State? I would never want to live in North Dakota. Like that's such a. What do you do in North Dakota? Probably meth. I don't know. Probably. Right, see, I'm probably not that great. I mean, we don't even have see the same side. Oh, hang on a sec here. I was gonna say, do we even have information about him? Not much. No, but he's good. Like I said, multi-role. He's got a good jump, but what does that matter? His weight, he's kind of mid-sized for center position, his wingspan's a little bit small, his arms a little bit small, and his height's good though, and his broad jump was good. This is not an Olympic sport. What does the broad jump matter for anything? So, but look at that, guys. Pass blocking, 100%. Run blocking, 97%. That's the bottom line about why he is like such a top-notch player. And that's why I think he can actually be amazing. But as I'm talking, though, go ahead and talk a little bit more about it. And, I'll give you guys my notes a little bit about it. So hang on a sec. Center is what round, bro? 4? White Bull Deadpool, I would say 3 at the very most this year. Because we don't really have a big, it doesn't seem like this is a great draft for them. Like their physicals aren't like top notch or anything like that, But hey, like I said, anyone that actually gets a chance in the NFL can go long distances can get far and to be like legends and stuff like that, But that's just that is just what it is, So yeah. Let's see, naughty list or good list. Let's see. Joe went way too freaking cheap this offseason. Yeah, but you're right, Alan. I mean, I do admit that. You're right though. You're right. You did. So, Grandizer says produced a movie that the drug cartels were the good guys and the Mexican government were the bad guys. Hey, it's possible. Yeah. Well, who the real bad guys are is the American government. Hey, oh. Miguel says size does not matter. Well, you got ladies in the chat. You guys tell me. Because hey, nobody likes I'll just let that one go. Yeah, ladies in the chat, any ladies in the chat, go. You tell me if size does matter or not. So, yes, Zable, Jackson, Booker at the top. Later rounds have a lot of upside. Offensive line prospects, Slater. Yeah, for sure. Kyle says, I would not be surprised if we got him, and I would be completely okay with it. Yeah, and that's a fact too. I mean, I'm totally fine with whatever the Chargers do because look, the end of the line is we're not people that make the call. And I mean, honestly, we're not making the money to make that call, So like, I mean, yeah. Short Kings win too. That's funny. Sorry guys. Y'all roasted me about the size comments. Y'all, it's fun. It's awesome. Kyle says he would probably rather have the defensive line though, but offensive line becomes too good too. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Shout out to all the Short Kings, my man. No short shirts, no service. That's what's up. Philip says, I hope Bozeman comes in here and reads all the trash talk about Herbert, then comes after you. Hey, that'd be awesome. I wouldn't. Hey, that'd be awesome. I would love to have him come on here and trash talk us back. That'd be dope. I would love that. I would love to get a rise out of him like that. So yeah. Miguel said you were detained by Mexican police. What were you in for? Good times. Born. No, I wasn't. Not at all. No, I squeaked by without a hitch. Ran off with a bunch of pills from the pharmacy and stuff, and we good. Everything worked out. Everything's all good. Anyways, but here's some of my notes that I had about him, though. So, but what I like most about Zabel is obviously his versatility. He's kind of like a dream offensive line pick for Harbaugh because of how flexible he is at the position. And he's truth is too, he was a first team All-American. That's awesome. So. And I do think that he has like great ability, like I said, like showing like his run blocking percentages, like he can open up a whole bunch of lanes for Harris. And his ability at center could solve a lot of problems for the when we let go of Bozeman and stuff like that eventually, So, and it's possible that Bozeman might even be set up as a backup anyways, So because we did get a couple other people for that position, so. But yeah, so Mel Kiper from ESPN does think that he would be a good fit for the Chargers as well if he's available in the late rounds and stuff. And it's possible because he is lower on a lot of draft boards and stuff. So it's very possible that he might be available for us. So, and so I would just say though, I do think that he's similar to Booker in a lot of ways though. He could really just be a good pick if like the top safe or the top skill players are already taken by the 2020 or 22nd pick. But bottom line is though too, is as far as I've seen some of his tape, it's like, man, ain't nobody getting past this guy. And I think that's pretty fan-freaking-tastic. So I like it. I like it a lot. So who is Mel Kiper? Mel Kiper Jr. Sorry, I forgot about the junior side of it, So yeah. He's just an analyst on ESPN, so he obviously gets paid to sit there and analyze and study and like that. I don't have all that. So yeah. But yes, Miguel, I did have to pay tariffs in order to get back into the USA. It wasn't much because sadly, my net worth is not that high. So Trump, Mr. Trump was kind enough to let me off by a little bit. So, actually, fun fact on that, I do have to pay taxes this year, so that kind of sucks. Anyways, but yeah, again, I digress. So, I know you guys know Greg Zable a lot, because you guys talked about him at length with me before I even had a chance to. So, but the last player that I have is a pretty it's a solid one. People have already said it, said his school in the chat a couple times, but they did not say the position that they wanted him. So the last player that I have in my head for the top one pick would be, oh no, you heard wrong. When I built that pool, I wouldn't be caught dead with that stuff. Hell no, I would not be caught dead working on the Raiders podcast. No, sir. Not happening. Larry, what's up, my man? How you doing? Yeah, that's awesome. By the way, Larry, I still owe you half of that bet that we made. So you hit me up in on Gmail, and I'll send you over some bucks for that bet that we won with what's it called? With the shoot, what's his name? Aether. He was here earlier, but he stopped. I don't know why. Anyways, but yeah, so okay. Last pick for the draft that I think no habla español. Un poquito. But the last pick that I have, you guys mentioned Ohio State, but you guys were talking about tight ends. I actually think that we can go Ohio State and get ourselves a wide receiver in Emeka Egbuka. Hopefully I said that one correct. Probably not. I don't know. Like I said, I'm horrible with names. And so yeah, so obviously a lot of people probably know about him, but yeah, he's 6'1", 202 pounds, 81 receptions, 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns and stuff like that. Erica Badu, I don't even know what you're saying. Receptions average 12 yards. So I do think that he has the ability to make the Harbaugh cut for sure. Um, he I think he would be a clear replacement for Quentin Johnson. If we got him, Quentin Johnson's out for sure. Like I think we just trade him out, do whatever, get rid of him, all that stuff. So yeah, and we did talk about an edge rusher, Larry. Yeah, I know you're saying pass rushers. We did talk about that as well. But this is a position that I think we obviously need. Having another solid wide receiver out there would be a freaking tastic. But yeah, so he's a great. The thing about him is that he's a good route runner, is what I've seen, and he's got good hands. And obviously, those are things that we need most because Quentin Johnson's just not been cutting it. So, I think that if we had him, we'd be able to stretch defenses pretty well, though, too. But at the end of the day, though, too, he's not a super fast guy. So look at my notes here. Where's his 40 here? A 4.45, which is not like super fast, but I do think that he could still actually get out there and he can stretch the fields pretty well. So again, he's also a yards after catch guy, kind of like Quentin Johnson was, but he just has better hands, more reliable, better routes. Biggest thing, he would just be literally, you're out, Quentin Johnson, you're in, Egbuka. All right, we're good. So that's kind of my thoughts on him. And obviously, like I would imagine that'd be pretty awesome though, for sure. So just that's kind of my thoughts. So to kind of recap my positions real quick while I kind of go back into let me go back into this a little bit more. But I'll say though, I do think that most people they sleep on him a little bit more, but I do think that he could be someone good. I would say though that Teta Iria Aroa McMillan or Luther Burden could get picked up maybe too if they're available. That they would be also amazing pickups as well for us. But that would be awesome to see if we did get because a wide receiver would not be a bad pickup. Like I'm just saying that at the end of the day. But I don't know if I would want to get a wide receiver though, because obviously we had Quentin Johnston in the first round. Then the next year we got Ladd McConkey in the second round. It would probably would be kind of an unlikely pick, but this is kind of a thought that I would think would be pretty good. So, like I said, if he's available, that's it. I do admit I do have a sleeper pick. I'll just kind of talk about him real quick, but I don't really want to do too much about it. But I would also love a running back. If Marion Hampton was available, he would be the guy. And why I would like him the most out of all these players is he was coached by Natron Means. And that's a lot to me. That means a lot to me because Natron Means is the running back. He's one of the coaches out there in North Carolina. And Marion Hampton would be the guy that I would like to see because we need that. I feel like Greg Roman needs that kind of player, like that type of Natron Means styled player that just feel like, all right, you're gonna hit me, but I'm gonna hit you as well. It's kind of like that Rorschach kind of thing. I don't know. I think he's a sleeper, Miguel, because I think he's gonna be gone before we, I think he's going to be gone before 22 comes up, But if he's not, you got to get him, Hey, White Pole, Deadpool, Triple H we trust. Hey, man, that brings me back to some WWF days, So we might need to do that. And I may have to have I might have to make a shirt that says "In Triple H we trust" or something like that, and we'll do the G Generation X freaking things, to go with it, So, anyways, but like I said, okay, Egbuka like, or any other running or wide receiver like that I've mentioned would be fan-freaking-tastic. So, but like I said, to recap, my top 5 positional choices for the first round would be tight end, potentially, um, offensive line, I would say, uh, maybe guard or center. Well, I would say trenches, offensive line, defensive line. So maybe edge, maybe defensive tackle. Um, but then probably a wide receiver or running back. Like so, that's something in there, like for sure. But you're right though, Uber Goober. We need a defensive tackle so bad, because we have a lot of like kind of temporary solutions for a lot of these positions. Like I said, defensive tackle, we have temporary solutions. For center, we have temporary solutions. Um, for tight ends, technically, we have temporary solutions. So I do think me and my brothers, we've talked about this a little bit too. And like on our group chat, we do think that Joe Hortiz could be painting ourselves into a corner here. Um, and that could be a big thing, a big problem for us soon. And that is that we are getting too many temporary solutions and not getting these enough long-term contracts for places, for things. So that's could bite us in the ass really soon and really fast. And it's gonna hurt like hell because we're gonna have to like find, you know, half a team at some point because we don't have yeah. That's right, White Red Bull. Are you ready? Break it down. Triple H and Triple H we trust. Anyways, yeah. Anyways, okay, so let me close this out. Um so my players, like those are my players. So it does seem like my special guest will probably not be able to join us for sure. But yeah. I'm excited though. So one thing I was gonna say, so he will come on at some point, but look, guys, like I'm just gonna say is that there's a ton of draft parties going on, for the draft, in coming up in 2 weeks. I don't know if the Chargers are gonna host something. I wish they would, but they probably won't. Ever since the kind of the fiasco with what's his name, the Quentin Johnston pick, I think they decided that they maybe will not do that anymore. So, like I said, a lot of the fan clubs are doing a whole bunch of stuff. There's a ton of diehard Bolt Club things going on. There's like one in Orange County, North LA, Long Beach, you name it. There's a ton of different places for diehard Bolt Club going on. And I wanted like the president of the, to kind of give you a hint, yes, or the spoiler here. I wanted the president of Die Hard Bull Club to come on. He said he was going to be able to be available, but he got locked up with work. It's totally fine. I get it. I was like, yes, okay, we'll just reschedule. And I may see if we can get him on to the show on Sunday, along with some other people. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, so they got Die Hard Bull Club in your city. More than likely is doing something. I know some people don't really like, to go to those events or whatever like that. Or obviously Thursdays people have to work and stuff like that. But I'm doing the best I can to help promote as many events as I can. And so if you guys are available to hang out, the to one of those draft parties, because I think there's one in San Diego. Yeah, there is some in 619, but at the same side, Swoop and D Tailgate's probably going to be doing a draft party. I was hoping that O'Siders, We Charge LA was going to be doing some draft parties or whatever, but it sounds like not. So we have Kyle for the OTA's Ice Bath Challenge, 15 seconds under. Hey, all right, you know what? I'll do it. I'll do that challenge. Actually, I think I found out that there is a ice bath place near where I live, and so I'll do it. I'll take the plunge. 15 seconds. All right, I can do 15 seconds. You know what? I'll double it. 30 seconds. I'll do 30 seconds. Yeah, and or more. Maybe I think I could do more. I think I have the guts for it. Hey, I'm excited. Actually, I would love. I've always kind of wanted to do one. I thought about getting a nice bath, inflatable thing, and put it in my garage and stuff like that, and just like kind of, just jumping in the morning, whatever. But I do admit, I have a third story thing now, so if I did that, I would have to run all the way up the stairs in order to get to the shower as fast as I could, and that would be kind of nuts. Um, let's see. But yeah, like I said, there's a whole bunch of let me just pull it up real quick. Let me just do this real quick here. Let me just do that here. Sorry, guys. Let me just bear with me for a second. Hard. But yeah, so I'm gonna try and get as many people as I can, that are part of like the Die Hard Bolt Club. There you go. To join the show, or not just Die Hard Bolt Club, but like any fan show. Oh wait, hang on. What the hell just happened? What the hell? Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened there. Anyways, yeah. I will need the blue chew after that ice cold. Yeah, I just might. Okay, let me just see. Let me just share the screen here for you. Okay. There we go. Boom. All right, yeah. So there you go. So Die Hard Bolt Club will have a draft watch party on Thursday, April 24th, and the 5 p.m. That's where it starts. At the in Orange, California, at the Dave and Buster's. So, and that is the one that the main Die Hard Bolt Club will be putting on. So if you guys can, and or in that area, go ahead and go to that thing. It'd be fan freaking tastic. They do put on a good event. They always got little 50-50 raffles and stuff, and like and they'll do prizes and they'll chat whatever. Like it's always just good to hang out with friends, of the show. So, but I was hoping that I could have our guest kind of explain that for us. But hey, it is what it is. But yeah, go ahead and go out to this event if you can. But not only this one, like I said, there's going to probably be events in LA that are also Die Hard Boat Club. There's going to be probably one in Riverside, probably one in like shoot, there's probably one in Inglewood too. Like but there's a whole bunch that they do. So because there's a whole bunch of chapters everywhere for Die Hard Boat Club, and they're one of the fastest growing clubs in the Chargers fandom. And so 100% I support what they got cooking. So because you know what, the bottom line is, say what you want about any club or whatever like that, but we're all Chargers fans. We're all trying to do the best thing, and it's awesome. I'm excited about that. So and I wish I could go, but unfortunately I am out here in Utah now in the mountains. So we might actually, I would love to say that I could do a watch party myself. But I will probably just end up going to a bar, maybe with my brother, and watch it after work or something like that. So that could be something that I end up doing. If CC, yeah, you know what, that could actually work. I may actually do that. So maybe I'll chat with my brother, and maybe I'll see if we can set something up. Well, actually, at the same side? No, I'll probably just go to his house, and then we will, of course, I will say this: we will, of course, be having our own draft party, live, and we'll just be sitting there talking about stuff and kind of throwing out picks and throwing out and just shooting the crap with you guys for day one. Probably won't continue like for day 2 and day 3 or whatever like that, But we'll do a recap as well on, I would say, like Sunday and stuff like that, So because I do admit that we get a little overboard with all that stuff at sometimes. So I think we're going to pull back a little bit and not probably do every single thing. We may talk about the players if they get released, but we're not going to do live every single time. So that's kind of what will be what happens. So that's kind of what I think should happen. Will that happen? I'm not 100% sure. I haven't even talked to my brothers about that. But now you guys are the first people that I'm talking about that with. So anyhow, well, again, I think that's pretty good. I'm excited though for the draft though, guys. I mean, there's other people that I think that I have on this list or whatever too, but I think the top 5 is pretty much good. I'll talk a little bit more about them, and I'll keep these in my head. But who else do you guys think that I should actually look into for the upcoming draft? Go ahead and shout it out, and I will do some research, and maybe I'll move them up onto the list at all, or something like that. So it'll be pretty awesome. And you're right, Miguel. FTR, family, trust, respect, all day, every day. We got that on our flag over there. So that's what's up. Yeah. Anyways, but anyway, it's been great. I love chatting with you guys. Like I said, I appreciate all the love and the support that we get. And like I said, we are putting a pause on the Madden stuff for right now, because we'll just kind of get through some of this draft stuff, because we'd like to talk a little bit more about this and focus on our efforts on this right now. But starting back up on May, we'll have to do that. Oh, and by the way, because I will say this, because of my job, I may have to start this stuff a little bit later in the day, or on Thursdays. So we'll see how that shakes out. But because I'm not 100% sure how it's all going to work. But I do have a commute essentially for my job, so it may be tougher to get back to my chair to do the show at my normal time. But I'll figure it out, and we'll keep you guys posted, and just keep an eye out on the channel. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And if you haven't yet, please hit that bell notification over there. And that way you'll know when our next videos drop, and you can catch up with the bros. Anyways, so Darth Panic. I do not believe that there is a Die Hard Bolt Club Utah chapter. Truth is, I'm not 100% sure that we would want to be a Die Hard Bolt Club. Like at least me and the bros, we probably wouldn't like. We're not really joiners. I'll say that. So we like to participate. And we'll help the other clubs in as much as possible, but we kind of like to do our own thing, And if anything though, we may have the diehard, we may be the Bolt Bros of Utah. Our fan club could be Utah itself at this point, So it's possible. But if there is a Die Hard Bolt Club in Utah, I might see if we can join. That'd be cool. Die Hard Bolt Club Salt Lake. That'd be fun. I mean, look, I like going to events, and I'm trying to talk to I would love to see if we can make a fan club out here itself, if it's not just the bros. Anyways, guys. Like I said, I appreciate all the love, support, and I will catch you guys on the next show on Sunday. And we'll try and set up with our special guests to show up on that day as well. So, anyways, guys, I appreciate it again. Bolt Bros, let's go.
Hey, what's up? Cameron Dick here, watching Bolt Bros podcast. Let's go.
Charged up, Bolt Bros on the night.